you are actually placing them in a position of right or wrong. You are looking at things from the frame of right doing that, they are doing that, or they were wrong because they've done that in the past. Or you yourself are wrong because you didn't live up to your shoulds. A should is a demand. Should is something that is being, you're being overpowered by the way of doing that. There is no other way, it is just this. It is imposing. Now, instead or versus, when I say, if I really wanted, I could always be positive, think positive, the instant thing that comes later on is a questioning mindset that, yeah, then why don't you? But in the should, there will never be a why don't you, because it's a demand, it's an impose. There is nothing beyond that, it's an order. But the moment I say I could, the next question that comes is, yes, but then why don't I? Then comes that I could be positive, but I am not able to be that because there is some fear, or because there is lack of information which is not allowing me to think positively. And then the chain of events start. I will then ask myself that if there is lack of information, where should I look for information? Where can I get that information from? So I will start a sequence of action statement for myself. The should does not allow me choice, and hence there is no actions. But the moment I replace it with a could, there is a possibility of creating a kind of actions that will help me move closer towards what I ultimately want. People could be honest. If people really wanted, they could be honest. Yes, then why don't they? Are they fearing that I will not be able to accept that honest answer from them? Am I so? Now that again puts me in a questioning mode. So then probably rather than blaming them, now I start looking that what about me is making them feel that I will not accept their honest response. Have I somewhere in the past shown to them that I have, you know displayed that anger or some negative reaction? This now gives me an opportunity to tell that person that, listen, if there is anything that you want to say, and if you're worried that I might react negatively, be rest assured, I'm willing to listen to the honest answer or the honest response. I would appreciate your speaking things just as authentically as you are experiencing them. So it now gives me an opportunity to create a new set of actions. If I really want, I could forgive and forget and try getting along. Yes, you can. Then what stops you? Why don't you? So there must be some closures. You're talking about forgiving and forgetting. Probably there are some closures that are pending with those people whom you want to forgive. You probably are still searching for some answers. You're probably still searching for something to give you as to why what happened. And hence there is no forgetting, and hence there is no forgiveness. This now gives you an insight to at least I need a closure. Now, whether the other person makes that move or no, because you want to live happily, because you want to live peacefully, you at least have now one action that you will have to go and seek that closure by having that conversation with that other side. Now it's your choice. The moment, like I said, when we decide to change, when we take actions that have got newly now created through a new set of our thoughts, there might be discomfort. Now it's your choice. Do you want to stay in a comfortable position and stay discontent, or you want to get a little uncomfortable, discomforted, but in the end of that discomfort lies containment. You are content, you are happy, you're peaceful, and that thing is gone away from our head. Our human brain is so very, magical. Once the issue is addressed, there is no space for that. It just goes away from there. But as long and until that issue is not addressed, that thing keeps coming back to us, keeps coming back to us. The moment you address it, moment you give it the answer or give it the solution or give it a closure, it slowly just evaporates. Yes, Munira, closure means, and I'm specifically referring to Rashida's statement, closure means having conversation, addressing addressing it, not always. So you are being obviously mindful, so you will go and talk to this person. There is some closure that is required, because you require a closure. You are going and you are expressing yourself, and you are authentically expressing the concern, the emotion that you went through, or whatever challenges that you went through at that time. If you are expecting that after you have done all that, that other person will tell you something, then again there is a people should over there. I am not talking about that at all. I am simply talking about going and conveying to this person that, I all this has happened and this has hurt me and this has disturbed me, but now on I am now not going to be holding this at all again. So for me now this story is over. You may have had your reasons, you may have had this whatever you did it, but now I forgive you. What magically will happen is the moment you don't blame this other person, the person finds no reason to defend himself. And when you are just openly showing that you are now cleaning everything out without blaming this person, automatically the person will start telling his or her side of the story, and things do get sorted out. You have to start from a position of compassion. That is a compassion to yourself, that because I want to clear this negative emotion, I love myself, I want to clear this negative emotion. That is why I'm going and talking. I'm not going and talking because I want to listen to that other person's story. That other person may say something, may not say something. I am doing this because I want a closure. I am doing this because I want peace. I want to let this go out of my head. Okay, so I think you have your statements of I should and I could, and you can see that it is simply about noticing what is it that has guided that belief of mine. The moment I get in touch with my I shoulds and people should, and working on the thought that created that belief. If you simply work on your belief without knowing what what in the beginning, that be anyone, they would have also created some thoughts, recurring thoughts, which has led to some belief. Now, if you are feeling that that is mistreating, and if you are feeling that they are mistreating, but in return they are expecting love, I will request you, I will invite you to be authentic and speak to this person and remember the definition of authenticity. So probably you could only speak from saying that I can, so this behavior of yours or whatever you're doing, I can see that you want us to listen or live up to what you're saying, or you want us to be perfect. So whatever you can, just think, if he could, he would have done it like this. So what could be the reason that he's behaving like that? And using that as pointers, you could talk to this person and don't blame. Speak about how you are experiencing that situation. It's very different than saying that तुम जब ऐसे सब करते हो तो मुझे बहुत तकलीफ होती है, या तुम जब ऐसे बात करते हो या तुम वो करते हो तो मुझे दर्द होता है. We are talking about our concerns, but at the same time we are placing that person in the wrong position. And trust me, when you make the person wrong, she will not respond to your concern. Instead, she will defend herself and tell you that she is right. So whatever concern you're placing does not get heard at all. So you will have to slowly, with trial and error, identify the best way of conveying this message to the person authentically. Munira, you couldn't think about what people should be, that's fine. Yes, Pradnya, I get it. So they may be doing it to others. They are not doing it to yourself. But if you are observing it and you're being a part of that story because that's there as a statement, it means it is there somewhere in your life. Suppose if it's there somewhere in your life. If you're asking for someone else, that's a different thing. But if it's there in your life, it's you are somewhere being an observer, even if it's a silent observer. You could see how you could be instrumental in creating the different that different outcome that you want. If you are anywhere correlated to it, maybe you could contribute. Or if that person is nowhere in connection and nothing impacts you or nothing at all is very closely related to you, then you should ask yourself that what is that belief which makes you feel that there is something that is happening over there and I should change that. No, it could be even that. It could even be that way. An example of a statement without blaming the other person is, suppose I'll give you very simple examples of saying that uh, I'll take the same story of watching the TV, of watching. So if I can blame my son by saying that, oh, okay, so um, I can say, tell, so he's watching TV and I'm getting upset about it, and I'll go and say, Pura time tum TV dekhte rehte ho. All the time you're watching this TV and all the time you're wasting your time. You're not doing anything else. From the time the holidays have started, you're sitting and you're just watching TV, just watching TV, just watching TV. There is nothing else that you could do. और कुछ है नहीं क्या तुम्हारे पास करने के लिए पूरा टाइम टीवी देखते रहते हो. Now, what I actually wanted was him to use his time productively. I don't get into all this story conversation. Instead, I just simply tell him, I go to him and say, okay, could you create some kind of a plan where you are distributing your time effectively between doing watching TV? Is there a possibility can I help you create some kind of a timetable or a schedule? Or how would it be if in your entire day there is some amount of TV, there is some amount of learning, there is some amount how so is there some way that this can be planned? And if it is done that way, I think that the day will be very productive. And I will also be happy to see that you have done multiple things throughout the day. I have still conveyed to him that I don't want you to watch the TV. But along with it, I have also told him what he could alternatively do. Like most of the time, tell our kids what they should not be doing. We never tell them what they could be doing instead. So I remember in WhatsApp jokes and in all these parent-child communication, I've heard people saying that my son calls नहीं है, कूदना नहीं है, गिराना नहीं है, तोड़ना नहीं है, करूं क्या तो बताओ. So I don't tell them what they should not be doing. Instead, tell them what they could be doing. So that's one way of not blaming, but instead giving them a possibility of what else could be done. If the person thinks of you emotionally weak and smiles at your conversation, this is the last question, Shweta, I'm just addressing this. If a person thinks of you emotionally weak and smiles at your conversation, shall we avoid, ignore, and leave the matter as it is? Avoidance and ignorance again is coming from, a belief saying that's their problem, मैं उसका कुछ कर नहीं सकती. It's again coming from some kind of a negative emotion of anger or feeling frustrated about what is being done. When I'm asking you to be authentic, when I'm asking you to shift the thought, what I'm asking you to do instead is just be open. I said, give that space. You are going and speaking to that person because these are some of your thoughts. That person, if he's smiling, did he tell you or did she tell you that he thinks you are emotionally weak? If he thinks about you, if he's worded it out as saying that you are coming across as emotionally weak, you could, so don't feel attacked. Just tell that fine, that might be your way of looking at it, and that's not what I wanted to portray, and I'm sorry if you've got the wrong message. What I actually was trying to say was this. The moment they call us emotionally weak, I feel attacked. Then instead of addressing the situation, I start addressing that emotionally weak statement that they told me. The situation that I went to talk to her about was something else. That stays away, and then I start spending time and energy around that emotionally weak statement. Or if that person has not said that at all and just smiled, that smile can have so many different meanings. Why are you thinking that that smile is emotionally weak? It could be that that person must be, you may have felt that when they smile like that, it means emotionally weak, which means it is your limiting belief. Or it could be anything else. If you can't place a meaning, best would be just ask the person. I said this statement and in response I got a smile. Could you please help me clarify what does that smile mean? If at all they say it's you're emotionally weak and you're so silly and that you're saying all these things, don't feel attacked. Just be authentic to who you are, about know yourself. He, she, they may think you are emotionally weak. Why should you feel that you are emotionally weak? If they have said that, just simply say, हाँ, मतलब कपड़े पे कुछ गिर जाता है कुछ, so what do? We just dust it off, right? And we don't get attached to that dust. Same way, what they have thrown at us is a dust. Just clean that out and say, what I mean was this. And can we talk about that? Can we just see how we could address it? How you talk to sides makes this better. I am asking you to address it. Sometimes it might not be right. If you're going to keep it bottled inside you, it's going to harm you. So you have to address. That's what I meant by closure sometime back also. So maybe at that time, because the other person is not in the state of receiving, you decide to talk, but make sure that some other time you go back and you talk authentically in a manner that makes the other person responsive and not reactive. You have to trigger his thinking, don't trigger the emotions. So now that's something that you will have to practice and you will have to observe yourself. Only then we will reach there. Okay, so moving on, I'll just go a little further because else, so your questions and all of that are most welcome. Uh, Pause and Learn, the Facebook, the email ID, and my numbers who've connected with me through my reference. All of you have some contact points for all for us. Reach out to us and freely ask us these questions, and we can start working on this. And and just to make sure that we are working on this constantly and give you different flavors of the same thing about how our beliefs observability, how our beliefs impact our relationships, we are going to be doing these coming sessions. So I just want to highlight one thing, one more thing to you. I want to just give you a few statements about how we could flip or reverse our beliefs. Reverse our beliefs, no, sorry, simply about how we could look at things differently. How can I flip my thoughts? So suppose if I say, suppose if some people have a belief that I should not get angry, I will simply tell myself, I will just replace that thought with, all my emotions are acceptable, or anger is a natural and normal response. I have to only look at ways of appropriately expressing it. So rather than getting angry with yourself for getting angry or getting guilty about getting anger, when you feel angry, just take a deep breath and tell yourself, anger is a normal and natural reaction. I only have to look at ways of appropriately expressing it. In case if someone has a belief that people are so silly, people are so stupid, or people who are not perfect are useless, maybe you could just flip that again. Take a deep breath and just tell yourself, everybody is doing what they can. Everybody is doing something to the best of their ability. If I think that there is something more that can be done, let me communicate. Let me express in healthy manners. Or can I look at ways of expressing that in healthy manners? So every belief that you have can be reversed, and these reversals are only possible if you are open to reversing. If you believe that you have the courage and the capacity to get a little discomforted so that you can create a peaceful, calm and a healthy containment zone for yourself. These beliefs impact, like I said, our relationships, impact our money, success, career. A lot of these beliefs of ours, I'm just sharing the screen. So a lot of these beliefs of ours impact a lot of these areas, and unknowingly and we don't even know about it. So hence the coming sessions are working on these areas. Now what I will just request all of all of you to just see here is um we are so this is what I had in mind or planned for the entire day. Like I said, we have different sessions which will be touching upon the beliefs that are impacting various areas of our life. If you see on the screen, we have today what we've spoken about limiting beliefs, which was a free session. Going forward from the coming Saturday onwards, we are going to be talking about success, prosperity, our beliefs around our deserving these things, our beliefs around change, and how we don't get affected by change is on 30th of May. Beliefs around relationship, managing difficult people. In fact, some of the questions that you said about people ignoring us and egoistic people and people who mistreat others, some of those beliefs around that will get addressed on 6th of June. It's a 2-hour session. Forgiving and forgiveness and letting go and feeling free. Again, there was a question around it. 13th of June, the timing will remain the same, 6 to 8. And 20th of June, we have manifestation of all our dreams and desires, ordering from the cosmic kitchen, ask, believe, and receive. You might see that each of these sessions are charged at rupees 750 for each session. None of these sessions, these are all independent sessions. They are not connected to each other. You may join, you may pick and choose any of these sessions and join for these sessions. However, we would recommend that you go through all of these sessions because it's a gradual, incremental difference and impact that we are seeing. We see when we do this. Also, we've also seen that you may be working around deservability. You may be working around deservability because you think that there is something to do with deservability that challenges you have. But while you're working in deservability, you might realize that there's a lot of forgiveness also that needs to happen. And they are connected in some form or the other. So we recommend, and for better results, we recommend that you go through all of these sessions. You join independently. For each session, it is 750, which comes up to 3,750. However, if you register for all 5 of them, we will be charging you rupees 3,500, 3,000 only. Sorry, the investment is 3,000. So if you register for all the 5 sessions, it will be 3,000. And you could connect with us on Pause and Learn, the Facebook page, or you could reach out to me on my Usel Life Facebook page. You could reach out to me personally, reach out to Ankur Bhaiya or the Pause and Learn team, and you could let them know about what you are interested in and how you would want to go about. So what we began our session today was talking about what is authenticity and what stops us from being authentic when we know that authenticity is such a beautiful place to be in. And hence we saw about what limits us, what is it that stops us from being authentic, and what are the beliefs around it, and why that comes in our way of being authentic. Now, with this, before I close, like I kept saying, that be ready to receive, be open, be willing. I will just reach out to each one of you to come back to a comfortable position again, because we would want to get into a small guided meditation where I would like, or a visualization, you would want to call it, where I would like you where I would like to take you through a small visualization, which is about receiving, being open, and all of that. So before I come to that, we'll take around 10 minutes, we'll take around 5 minutes or so for that meditation. But before we go to that, any questions that someone has around the coming sessions or anything? Because once we do the meditation, I will ask Ankur Bhaiya to come in and close the session. Is there anything that someone wants to ask or clarify?
I don't know, Didi, if it is about the upcoming sessions, but Zahara Mirza ji would like to ask something. Maybe she had raised her hand, but
Ah,
but now she's not in the chat. She's just left, I guess. All right.
acha. Okay. Okay.
And then there is one question. I don't know if you have already covered that part. Umi Hani Hamid is asking how to overcome the situation where I feel my every move and action is being watched.
Hmm. So basically, are you saying, Umme, that you're feeling unsafe? Are you feeling unsafe, or there is what is it that is there must be some belief or something which is associated, some statement, something that is associated with this. So this is so Ume, I think we can take it on WhatsApp also. Is that okay with you? I
All right.
Okay, so we could take that offline. And Munira, yes, you could reach out to us personally. We will let you know how you could go on for the other sessions. Uh, Ankur Bhaiya, like you said, will let you know on your number.
So I think we can move on to the meditation part, Didi, because
Yes.
as far as the
Yes, please.
correspondence is concerned, we have everyone's number. The only last one appeal, in case anyone who has not filled up the form and has joined the session through a reference on a last moment and has not filled the Google form, I will be mentioning my number here and Kavita Didi's number here. You can just WhatsApp us with your name that I'm so and so, I had attended the session and I would like to be in touch, so that we can reach out to you. Otherwise, if you do not have the form filled up, we do not have your contact details and we won't be able to correspond with you. Over to you, Kavita, for the quick meditation. Thank you so much.
Okay, so once the meditation is over, all of you, you could just make a note of the number that Ankur Bhaiya shares on the WhatsApp screen. Now I'll just request you all, if you had some notebooks and pens or something that you are holding, you can just keep them away, and you could have yourself comfortably sitting. You may want to have your feet firmly on the ground, or you want to sit cross-legged and sit in a comfortable position. Take a position which is comfortable, please. And just focus on your breathing. And find yourself getting into a space of complete relaxation. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. You will hear certain statements that I say. If you choose, you may repeat them after I say, or you may just listen to them and take them within you as if they are your words. Believe and know that at this point, the entire universe is around you, waiting to listen and bless you. Be completely sure that the universe knows that what you're saying and seeking is the journey of your soul, and hence it's blessing you and showering you with abundance. In the infinity of life where I am, all is perfect, whole, and complete. The past has no power over me because I'm willing to learn, I'm willing to change. I see the past as necessary to bring me where I am today. I am willing to begin where I am now. To clean the rooms of my mental house. I know it does not matter where I start, so I now begin with the smallest and the easiest rooms, and in that way, I will see results quickly. Therefore, I claim for myself love and acceptance at all levels. I accept all my emotions and I express them appropriately when the occasion arrives. I am not my parents and I am not attached to their patterns of expressing emotions. I have learned to observe rather than react. I am my own unique self and I no longer choose to sweat on the unwanted stuff. I have peace of mind. I'm willing to set myself free. This is the truth of my being, and I accept it so. All is well in my world, and so it is. All is well in my world, and so it is. All is well in my world, and so it is. All is well in my world, and so it is. Very slowly, bring your consciousness back to the room, back to the space where you are sitting. And slowly, whenever you're ready, you could rub your palm, generate the heat, and place it on your eyes, place it on your face, on your throat, on the center of your heart. Take a deep breath, knowing that all is well. And slowly open your eyes. So, thank you all so much. I hope whatever was possible in this 2 hours, each one of you has taken away something from today. This is just the beginning. This is a journey. And I thank you all for participating with me in this journey. And thank you all. Deep gratitude to each one of you for being here and participating. Thank you all so much. There in our coming sessions as well. Thank you all. God bless you.